Name is Luyanda Mpahlo. I'm the newly elected Vice President of the South African Institute of Architects, SAIA, and I'm sitting with Simi Perutin, who's Head of Practice in the organization. And since the board approved the fee survey that is taking place for the Institute, could you just give us a brief what the survey is good for? Is it good for the big practice? Is it good for the young practice? What is it about, just in a nutshell, on behalf of the members?
Well, the survey is in two parts. There's a benchmark survey, and the fee survey is a second part to it. The benchmark survey will be able to allow members to track how they are doing in a number of key sectors of their business. For example, profit relative to the average profit across practices of their size and in their region. It'll go into turnover. If there is a marketing spend, we want to know how much money people are spending and time people are spending on marketing, what the average hourly rates are, what are the average salaries by size of practice, by region, what kind of clients are there and sectors, and of course what is so important these days is BIM and BIM implementation. Can I say, I think the most important thing that is for individuals and for practices. What will also be useful for SAIA and for the industry is to be able to track this information over time and see how the industry is doing, because we've never been able to do that. If you track profit, for example, profit percentages over a 5-year period and see it go up or down on average, then you know how your peers, how your colleagues are doing. If you track turnover, we can see whether the overall spend to architects has gone up or down. All of these will give important information for example, for you to speak to government, to speak to clients about how the profession is doing.
I think the most important part for me is the information that relates to the benchmarking, because it's more business information. I mean, I would imagine larger firms maybe are easier to get this information than smaller firms. But where do you actually access the information that you need?
Well, I think most of it, every firm, from a single practitioner to big firms, should have the basic information from the benchmark survey. Most of the information will come from your annual financials, and every firm practice has to have annual financials. The other sections will be able to be filled out by information that surely you have. For example, if you're a single practitioner, what is your take-home drawings? What is that compared to translate into an hourly rate, for example? Or when you hire in people to help you, what is the average cost for those people? All of that kind of information one should have.
Is it essentially making us to run better businesses? Because, I mean, architects love the work they do. In fact, we spend hours on design, which doesn't really bring money.
Absolutely.
But how does that then, help in that efficiency of running the practice?
Well, I think, again, it'll benchmark you against other practices of your type and in your region. And that should give you enough information. It should give you the motivation and the impetus to get better. And of course, that's what we stand for. We stand for excellence in architecture, and we want to raise the standards of architectural practice across South Africa.
Would you say that it goes so far as to encourage us to have timesheets and all that, and keep that information?
Those are all questions in various sections of the survey. And if we manage to get members thinking in that way, if we manage to get some members converted to better business, better timekeeping, better tracking, we will get better architects and better architecture because of it.
Well, it's interesting, but coming back to the fees, it would appear to me this is an effort perhaps for architects for the first time to collect their own data and compile their own data, which they can, in a sense, vary according to the various sectors, maybe, because Absolutely. Up to now our fees are guided by the gazetted fee. And would this be a way perhaps of saying that to the architects, this is what you're actually spending, this is how your fee structure could look like?
Now, I think you've encapsulated exactly what it's for, but the most important part is to realize that this does not replace the guideline fees. Guideline fees come from our registering body. This is about fees data. It will give you business intelligence, and that is what it's supposed to do. It'll give you business intelligence and fees by sector, by value, and by region. All of that for the first time giving you detailed information about fees across the country?
Well, there it is, members. I think let's all be encouraged to fill out the survey. Simi, how long does it have to go still?
In about 2 weeks. There's 2 weeks still
It's going to be completed. Okay. Well, I think from my side, I've been able to capture most of the important things and hope everyone will see value in doing the survey.
Thank you.